In the last 10 years, if you had invested just 1 lakh rupees in the Nifty 50, today you would have roughly 2,70,000 rupees. Not bad, right? But here's what will shock you. That same 1 lakh rupees invested in the S&P 500, the American stock market index, would be worth nearly 5 lakh rupees today. More than double. And if you had picked individual winners like Apple or Microsoft, we are talking 8 to 10 times returns. Now pause and think about this. While Indian investors were celebrating decent returns, someone in Mumbai who figured out how to buy US stocks legally was building generational wealth. The companies you use every single day, Google for searching, Apple for your iPhone, Amazon for shopping, Netflix for entertainment, you could have owned pieces of these businesses. And here's the beautiful part, it's not complicated, it's not illegal, and you don't need to be a crorepati to start. In fact, you can buy a slice of Amazon for just 500 rupees today. But here's the problem. Most Indian investors don't know the legal route, they're confused about taxes, and they're terrified of making costly mistakes. I've seen people lose lakhs because they didn't understand something called PFIC, a tax trap that nobody talks about. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to give you the complete blueprint. The legal LRS route, how fractional shares work, the exact tax you'll pay in India and America, platforms that actually work, and a step-by-step action plan. By the end of this video, you'll know more about US investing than 90% of Indian investors. So let's dive in. Let's start with the most important question. Is it even legal for Indians to invest in US stocks? The answer is absolutely yes, and it's been legal since 2004. The Reserve Bank of India created something called the Liberalized Remittance Scheme, or LRS. Think of LRS as your government-approved passport to send money abroad. Under this scheme, every Indian resident can send up to 2,50,000 US dollars outside India every financial year. That's roughly 2 crore rupees at current exchange rates. Now, unless you're Ambani's neighbor, that limit is probably more than enough for most of us. Here's how it works in simple terms. You open an account with an Indian broker that offers US stock investing. You complete your KYC, just like you would for any Indian Demat account. When you want to invest, you transfer rupees from your Indian bank account. The broker converts your rupees to dollars at market rates and sends them to America under LRS. Your bank reports this transaction to RBI. This is completely transparent and legal. The money reaches a custodian account in the US, and now you can buy American stocks. There are some costs involved. Banks typically charge between 1 to 5% as forex markup. Some brokers add their own conversion fees. There's also TCS, tax collected at source, of 20% on remittances above 7 lakh rupees in a financial year. But don't worry, this TCS is not an extra tax. It's adjustable against your final tax liability when you file returns. The key thing to remember is this, you're not doing anything under the table. Every rupee is tracked, every transaction is reported. This is the clean, legal, RBI-approved way to invest globally. Now here's where it gets exciting for us regular folks. A single share of Amazon costs around $180, that's roughly 15,000 rupees. One share of Google's parent company Alphabet? About $140. For many first-time investors, these prices feel like a barrier. You want to diversify across 10 great American companies, but you'd need several lakhs just to buy one share of each. This is where fractional shares change everything. Fractional investing lets you buy a portion of a share instead of the whole thing. Want to invest just 500 rupees in Tesla? You can own 0.003 shares. It sounds tiny, but here's the magic. You get the exact same percentage returns as someone who owns full shares. If Tesla goes up 10%, your 500 rupees also goes up 10%. You don't need to wait until you've saved 15,000 rupees. You can start building your American portfolio today with whatever you have. Most Indian platforms offering US stocks now support fractional investing. You can literally set up a monthly SIP of 2,000 rupees spread across Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. Every month, you're buying tiny pieces of the world's greatest companies. Think about the psychology here. Instead of waiting years to save enough for one share, you're building the habit of global investing right now. You're getting comfortable with currency movements, understanding how American markets work, learning to read US company results. And your money is compounding from day one, not sitting idle in your savings account earning 4%. The minimum investment on most platforms is as low as $1, around 83 rupees. There's genuinely no excuse anymore to not have some global exposure in your portfolio. Alright, let's talk about the part that confuses everyone, taxes. I'm going to make this crystal clear because getting this wrong can cost you lakhs. When you invest in US stocks from India, you're dealing with two countries' tax systems. Let me break down each scenario. First, dividends. When an American company like Apple pays you a dividend, the US government automatically deducts 25% as withholding tax. This happens before the money even reaches your account. Now, you might think you'll be taxed again in India, and technically yes, dividends are added to your income and taxed at your slab rate. But here's the relief. India and USA have a double taxation avoidance agreement called DTA. You can claim credit for the tax already paid in America, so you're not taxed twice on the same income. You'll need Form 67 while filing your Indian returns to claim this credit. Second, capital gains. When you sell your US stocks at a profit, America doesn't tax you. Foreign investors are exempt from US capital gains tax. Beautiful, right? But India will tax you based on your holding period. Here's the crucial part. The holding period for foreign stocks is 24 months, not 12 months like Indian equity. If you sell before 24 months, it's short-term capital gain, taxed at your income slab rate. If you hold for more than 24 months, it's long-term capital gain, taxed at 12.5% without indexation. There's no 1 lakh exemption like Indian equity gains. Third, currency gains. If the rupee weakens against the dollar during your holding period, that currency appreciation is also considered part of your capital gain and taxed accordingly. My strong advice: maintain detailed records of every transaction, including the exchange rate on purchase and sale dates. Consider using a CA familiar with international investments when filing returns. Now let me tell you about something that could turn your American dream into a nightmare. It's called PFIC, and I guarantee 90% of Indian investors have never heard of it. PFIC stands for Passive Foreign Investment Company. According to American tax law, most mutual funds and ETFs registered outside the United States are classified as PFICs. And here's where it gets dangerous for Indian investors. When you invest in US ETFs directly, like SPY, QQQ, or VOO, you're fine. These are American funds, not PFICs. But if you invest in certain international ETFs or if you hold US stocks through some offshore structures, you might accidentally trigger PFIC rules. But wait, there's a bigger trap. Some Indian investors think they're being clever by investing in international mutual funds offered by Indian AMCs, funds that invest in US markets. These funds are convenient, No LRS hassle, no forex headache. But from the perspective of US tax law, these Indian funds investing abroad could potentially be classified as PFICs. Now, you might ask, why should I care about US tax law if I'm an Indian resident not filing taxes in America? Here's the issue. If you ever become a US tax resident in the future, maybe you move for a job, your child sponsors you, or you get a green card, your past PFIC holdings become a massive tax headache. The IRS can tax you punitively on gains accumulated over years, even gains from before you became a US resident. The tax rates can be catastrophic. For most Indian millennials planning to stay in India, this might not apply. But if there's even a small chance you might live in America someday, avoid PFICs entirely. Stick to direct US stocks or US-domiciled ETFs. Don't let a simple mistake today create a tax bomb for your future self. Let's get practical. Which platform should you actually use to invest in US stocks from India? I've analyzed the major options, and I'll give you my honest take on each. First, the Indian fintech platforms, Vested Finance, IND Money, Grow International, and Winvesta. These are designed for Indians, with seamless KYC, rupee deposits, and customer support you can actually reach. Vested is probably the most established player with solid research tools. IND Money integrates nicely if you already track your finances there. Grow is familiar if you use them for Indian mutual funds. The pros: easy onboarding, local customer support, curated stock recommendations, and they handle all the LRS paperwork. The cons: forex markups can be slightly higher than international brokers, and some charge account maintenance fees. Second, international brokers like Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. These are the real deal, used by professional traders worldwide. Interactive Brokers especially offers incredibly low fees and access to markets beyond just America. The pros: lowest forex spreads, professional trading tools, access to global markets, and no platform fees. The cons: the interface can intimidate beginners, customer support isn't India-focused, and you'll handle more paperwork yourself. My recommendation? If you're investing less than 5 lakhs and want a smooth experience, start with an Indian platform. The slightly higher costs are worth the convenience and support. Once you're investing larger amounts and comfortable with the process, consider switching to Interactive Brokers to save on fees. One critical tip: whichever platform you choose, ensure they use a registered US broker-dealer with SIP protection. This insurance protects your investments up to $5 lakh if the broker fails. Don't compromise on safety to save a few rupees. We've covered a lot of ground, so let me give you a clear action plan to start investing in US stocks this week. Step 1. Decide your allocation. Most financial advisors suggest keeping 10 to 30% of your equity portfolio in international stocks. If you're young and aggressive, go higher. If you're conservative, stay at 10%. Don't put everything in US stocks. Diversification works both ways. Step 2. Choose your platform. For beginners, I'd suggest starting with Vested or IND Money. Download the app, complete your KYC, and link your bank account. The whole process takes about 2 days for verification. Step 3. Start with index ETFs. Before picking individual stocks, consider putting your first investment in VO or VTI. These ETFs track the entire American market. You get instant diversification across hundreds of companies. Think of it like a Nifty 50 index fund but for America. Step 4. Build your stock watchlist. Now research individual companies you want to own. Focus on businesses you understand and use. Create a list of 10 companies and study their fundamentals. Step 5. Automate your investing. Set up a monthly transfer, even 5,000 rupees. Consistency beats timing. The best investors aren't the ones who pick the perfect moment, they're the ones who keep investing through every market condition. Step 6. Track and rebalance. Review your portfolio quarterly. Don't obsess over daily movements. Remember, you're building wealth over decades, not trading for quick profits. Finally, get your tax documentation organized from day one. Screenshot every transaction, note the exchange rates, keep everything in a folder. Your future self will thank you during tax season. The American stock market has created more millionaires than any other market in history. And now, thanks to technology and LRS, you have the same access as any American investor. The only question is, will you take action? Subscribe to Mahayukti Finance for more wealth building strategies, and I'll see you in the next video.